You ever sit down to work, open your laptop, and just stare? You know that feeling. Well, we're about to break down a pretty fascinating productivity hack that elite performers use to just completely obliterate that feeling. It's a simple 6-minute routine, and trust me, it could totally change how you start your day.
Okay, so picture this. You're on the operating table. It's a big deal. And right before they wheel you in, you peek over and see your surgeon just intensely mashing buttons on a video game. What's your first thought? Probably something like, oh, great, this guy's a complete idiot, right? But what if I told you that couldn't be further from the truth?
It turns out that surgeon is actually a bona fide genius. And no, this isn't just some made-up story. It's based on the real work of a top-tier surgeon, a Dr. James Rosser, who stumbled upon something absolutely remarkable about how to prep your brain for high-stakes performance.
And the results? Well, they're staggering. Dr. Rosser's study found that surgeons who played specific video games for just 6 minutes before a procedure were on average 27% faster. But get this, even more incredibly, they made 37% fewer errors than their colleagues who just walked in cold. I mean, just look at that jump in performance.
So when you combine that boost in speed and that drop in errors, you're looking at a massive 42% performance gap. That is not a small improvement. That's literally the difference between a struggling B- student and an A+ top-of-the-class elite, and it all comes down to a proper warm-up.
So this all leads us to the core concept here, warming up your brain. You know, most of us, we just sit down, we flip open our laptop, and we just expect to instantly drop into a state of deep focus. But as it turns out, starting cold is one of the single biggest reasons we procrastinate and underperform.
The best way to think about it is like this. Your brain is a high-performance engine. You would never, ever take a finely tuned race car and immediately try to redline it in freezing cold weather, right? Of course not. You'd warm it up first. Well, trying to force your brain into complex work without that warm-up is the mental equivalent of stalling out on the starting line.
And we've all felt that cold brain state. It's exactly how it sounds. You stall, you waste a ton of energy just spinning your wheels, and you suddenly find a million other things you'd rather be doing. The goal, the holy grail, is to get to that warm brain state, where you can tap into instant focus, hit peak performance, and just be efficient from the very first minute.
Now, there's a scientific term for what those surgeons were doing. It's called neural priming. And all it really means is you're deliberately firing up the exact neural circuits you're about to need for a big task before you actually start it. Think of it like preloading the software you're about to run.
But here's the crucial part, the real secret sauce. The warm-up has to match the type of thinking your main task requires. We call this the silhouette concept. The neural pathways you light up in your warm-up have to mirror or match the shape of the pathways you're going to need for your real work.
Okay, so the theory is cool, but how do we actually do this? Let's break down the exact 6-minute routine that you can use to apply this whole elite protocol to your own work. And yeah, you can start as early as tomorrow morning.
The protocol itself is actually surprisingly simple. So, step 1. You identify your task's silhouette. Is it analytical, creative, verbal? Step 2. You set a timer for exactly 6 minutes. No more, no less. Step 3. Do a warm-up that's really low stakes but highly engaging. And step 4. And listen, this one is absolutely non-negotiable. The second that timer goes off, you jump straight into your main task. No checking email, no grabbing coffee, you just go.
So, for example, if your main job for the day is super analytical, let's say coding or crunching numbers, your warm-up could be a quick logic puzzle. On the flip side, if your task is creative, like writing or design work, you could try a 6-minute brain dump, where you just write whatever comes to mind, or maybe do some rapid-fire sketches. The goal is always the same: match the warm-up to the work.
This little process is so ridiculously effective because it works on a bunch of different levels at once. First, it's a rehearsal, kind of like when fighter pilots chair fly a mission in their mind. Second, it's super low stakes, so there's zero performance anxiety. It also triggers a little hit of dopamine, that molecule that drives motivation and makes you want to do things. And finally, by jumping right in, you completely eliminate that friction where procrastination usually creeps in.
And that brings us to the ultimate payoff. Let's talk about what it really means to work like an elite performer, because the real benefit here is all about eliminating that dreaded cold start from your workday for good. Just think about a typical work session for most people. The vast majority of that first half hour, I'm talking like maybe 80% of it, is spent just trying to find focus, just trying to get into the groove. That is an enormous waste of your best cognitive fuel before the real work is even started.
And this right here is the ultimate shift in mindset. The objective isn't to just work harder or longer. It's about being fully warmed up, fully engaged, and operating at 100% capacity during the moments that actually matter. It's the definition of working smarter.
So, by using this quick 6-minute prime, you walk into your own personal operating room totally ready for peak performance from the second you sit down. The only question left is, what could you accomplish if you never had to start cold again?
If this 6-minute neural upgrade helped you, hit that like button to let me know. Don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed routines to help you stop being a distracted brain and start operating like an elite. Thanks for watching.